What if I told you that those intrusive sexual thoughts that pop into your mind at the most random moments aren't a sign that something's wrong with you, but rather proof that your brain is working exactly as it should? Maybe it happens during a meeting, while you're having coffee with a friend, or even in the middle of a conversation with your parents, and you think, why am I thinking this right now? We all experience unwanted thoughts from time to time, but few people understand why sexual thoughts in particular can feel so sticky, so persistent, and so impossible to shake. Sometimes the harder you try to push them away, the louder they become. Let's explore what's really happening in your mind when these thoughts won't stop, and more importantly, how to manage them without shame or panic. Your brain doesn't filter like you think it does. Here's something that might surprise you. The average person has thousands of thoughts per day, and your brain doesn't pre-screen them for appropriateness. It just generates them one after another like a constant stream of mental noise. Sexual thoughts are part of that natural flow. They can be triggered by anything, a word, an image, a sensation, or absolutely nothing at all. Your brain's association networks are incredibly fast and complex. One innocent thought can link to another, then another, until suddenly you're thinking about something completely unrelated to where you started. And here's the key part. Having the thought doesn't mean anything about who you are. It's what psychologists call cognitive noise, random mental activity that everyone experiences. The difference is that when a sexual thought appears at an inappropriate time, we panic. We assign meaning to it. We think, what's wrong with me for thinking this? That reaction, that fear, is what makes the thought stick. Because your brain is designed to pay attention to anything that causes emotional distress. The more you fear the thought, the more your mind focuses on it, creating a loop that feels impossible to escape. The paradox of thought suppression. Ever try not to think about something and find that it's all you can think about? There's actual science behind this. It's called the ironic process theory, discovered by psychologist Daniel Wegner. When you try to suppress a thought, your brain splits into two jobs. One part tries to avoid the thought, while another part monitors whether you're still thinking about it. That monitoring system constantly checks in, asking, am I still thinking about it? Am I still thinking about it? And every time it checks, it brings the thought back into your awareness. It's like telling yourself, don't think about a pink elephant. The moment you hear those words, that's exactly what appears in your mind. Sexual thoughts work the same way. The more you fight them, the more mental energy you give them. Your brain interprets your resistance as a signal that this thought is important, maybe even dangerous, so it keeps bringing it up to protect you. But the thought itself isn't the problem. Your relationship with the thought is. When you treat it like an emergency, your nervous system responds with anxiety, which only reinforces the cycle. Why these thoughts feel so disturbing. Unwanted sexual thoughts often feel more distressing than other intrusive thoughts, because we live in a world that treats sexuality with so much weight and judgment. We're taught that our sexual thoughts reflect our character, our morality, even our safety to be around others. So when a thought appears that doesn't align with our values or the moment we're in, it triggers deep shame. But here's what you need to know. Thoughts are not action, thoughts are not desires, and thoughts are not predictions of what you'll do. Your brain generates all kinds of content, including things you would never choose to think about. People with the kindest hearts can have violent thoughts. People in loving relationships can have thoughts about others. And people who value respect and boundaries can have sexual thoughts at completely inappropriate times. None of this makes you a bad person, it makes you human. The distress you feel is actually a good sign. It means your values are intact. You're not worried because you want to act on the thought. You're worried because the thought conflicts with who you are. That discomfort is your internal compass working properly, reminding you what matters to you, how to manage the thoughts without fighting them. So if suppression doesn't work, what does? The answer lies in a practice called cognitive defusion, a concept from acceptance and commitment therapy. Instead of trying to control or eliminate the thought, you learn to change your relationship with it. You observe it without judgment, like watching a cloud pass by in the sky. When a sexual thought appears, instead of panicking, try this. Notice it, say to yourself, I'm having the thought that, and finish the sentence. This small shift creates distance. You're not the thought, you're the person noticing the thought. That distinction is powerful. It reminds you that thoughts are mental events, not facts or commands. Next, let it be there, don't push it away. Don't analyze it. Don't ask yourself why you're thinking it or what it means. Just let it exist in your mind without giving it energy. Imagine the thought as a car driving past your house. You see it, you acknowledge it, but you don't run outside and chase it down the street. You let it keep moving. This takes practice, but over time your brain learns that these thoughts aren't dangerous. They lose their emotional charge. They become just another piece of mental noise that comes and goes. Grounding yourself in the present moment. Another helpful tool is grounding. When unwanted thoughts start to spiral, bring your attention back to your body and your surroundings. Feel your feet on the floor, notice 5 things you can see. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the fight or flight response that often accompanies intrusive thoughts. You can also use a simple mantra, something like, this is just a thought, it will pass. Repeat it calmly, not as a way to force the thought out, but as a reminder that you're safe. Thoughts can't hurt you, they can't control you. They're temporary visitors in your mind, nothing more. When to seek support. For most people, unwanted sexual thoughts are occasional and manageable. But if these thoughts are constant, deeply distressing, or interfering with your daily life, it may be worth talking to a mental health professional. Conditions like obsessive-compulsive disorder can sometimes involve intrusive sexual thoughts that feel overwhelming. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral therapy, can provide tools and relief. There's no shame in asking for help. So the next time your mind won't stop, remember this. You are not broken, you're not dangerous, you're not alone. Unwanted thoughts are part of the human experience and they don't define who you are. What defines you is how you treat yourself when they show up. With patience, with compassion, and with the understanding that your mind is complex, messy, and beautifully human. Have you ever struggled with intrusive thoughts that felt impossible to control? You're not alone and your experience matters. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care of yourself. You deserve it.